So now we know a little bit about what predicts narcissism, specifically when it comes to Instagram use. But if you remember correctly, I also have a variable about regarding self-esteem in this data set. So I want to see if any of these Instagram predictors will also predict self-esteem. So what I'll do is I'm going to analyze back to regression. And I have everything in here already. I'm just going to remove narcissism and add self-esteem to the dependent variable box. What we're going to get is the same output, but with self-esteem as the predictor variables. Let's take a look at what it says here. Once again, we have four tables, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's direct our attention to the coefficients table to start, specifically the beta coefficients here. We have the betas and the significant values. When looking at this data here, we see that age, once again, not only predicts narcissism, but it also is a predictor of self-esteem. Okay, so that's interesting as well. Furthermore, the Instagram intensity scale predicts self-esteem. That's pretty cool. That's different. We did not see that with narcissism here. So narcissism was predicted by age and the number of Instagram followers, whereas self-esteem was predicted by age and the Instagram intensity scale. So we have kind of a different story to tell here. Instagram use isn't all a bad thing. It can be a good thing because it helps raise self-esteem. Specifically, the scale being immersed in it seems to have a small prediction here. Let's take a look at our ANOVA table here. We can see that in this model, self-esteem is significantly predicted by all of these predictors. Okay, so this is under 0.05 once again, and you'll be reporting your F value and your degrees of freedom in your report as well. So it's a significant predictor, and these two independent variables seem to predict self-esteem. I think that's pretty cool. Last thing I want to look at here is, once again, we're predicting almost 10% of the variance in self-esteem from just Instagram use, so specifically 8.7%. So as you can see, we're fiddling around a lot with these different procedures. You're trying to explore what is it that predicts narcissism and self-esteem, and now we have a little bit more information here, and this is reportable data. So the next thing that you'll want to do is indeed report the data. So for this assignment, I went ahead and am going to make you report it in APA format and also create a table. But first, let's take a look at how we report this in APA format. You'll say the procedure that you conducted, a multiple regression analysis, was conducted to examine the association between Instagram use with narcissism and self-esteem in college students. You'll want to mention the independent variables here, like you see here. In this model, we used age, Instagram intensity, Instagram followers, and number of Instagram accounts followed. And then this is where the stats comes in. You'll say for each dependent variable, our first one was narcissism, our second one was self-esteem. You'll indicate the amount of variance that was accounted for. That comes from one of the regression tables. And you'll see here how we report it in APA format. You're going to report the R squared, and you're going to write, it's called an F test, so write an F here, and then here's your degrees of freedom. Just let me scroll back and show you where to get the degrees of freedom in our output. So I'm going to go up to our narcissism analyses here, and you'll see under the ANOVA table your degrees of freedom. Okay, you'll report the first number here, 4, followed by the 154 here. Okay, you'll also report the F value from the ANOVA table and the significance. So you'll see all three of these columns reported in our output here. Okay, so degrees of freedom, your F statistic, and your p-value. So you get this from the ANOVA table, and you get these betas and p-values from the coefficients table. So here I say results indicated that the four predictors account for 9.4% of the variance in narcissism. It was found that age and Instagram followers significantly predicted narcissism. And you'll do the same with the results for any other dependent variable. I only ask for one dependent variable in your homework workshop assignment, so you'll only have to do it once. And you'll probably want this all to be in one paragraph. So let's just do this. And that is how you write up your results for multiple regression analyses. I definitely will ask you to also make a table. Whoops, it's up here. So this is what a regression table looks like in APA format. I'm actually going to give you the formatted table. You're simply going to add in the variable names, the dependent variable names as well, whoops, and the betas and their p-values. Okay? And once again, you have the R-square here and here for each of the dependent variables. Just as a quick reminder, you find that in our model summary table. Now, traditionally in APA format, you will round to 2 decimal places, except for p-values. Okay, so the p-values will be rounded to 3, everything else rounded to 2. The reason we do that, well, APA kind of has a fluid recommendation for that. Basically, the rule of thumb is present as much information as you can as succinctly as possible. So this is what I'm going to recommend for this particular assignment. So in your workshop, you will see a whole bunch of documents, and you'll have the formatted table, and you'll have the data set to work with, and so forth. So hopefully this video lecture explained to you how to do linear and multiple regression, and now you can go ahead and do it with this little bit different take on our workshop. So hopefully you enjoy the process as much as I do. Good luck.